Mzaha poisoned Hami's food. Little did she know that Hami's spell was stronger than hers, and that she would end up eating that food herself. Hello, and welcome to another African Tales for Kids. If you are new here, please subscribe to the channel. It will help us grow the channel to be able to bring you even more African tales. Make sure to also like this video, give it a thumbs up, and share it with a friend. Now, onto today's tale, The Evil Mother-in-Law. On a starry night in the charming village of Baraka, Mumbi, a young woman known for her kindness and grace, cast a mysterious spell. She believed in the power of magic that flowed through the hills and valleys of her East African homeland. In Baraka, there lived a radiant and gentle soul named Pendo. Her beauty and grace were unparalleled, captivating the hearts of many men in the village. George, a kind-hearted and hard-working man, was one of those drawn to her. He had long admired Pendo, but never had the courage to approach her. Pendo, cautious of making the wrong choice in love, had refused countless proposals. She feared a life of mistreatment and unhappiness, turning away potential suitors who didn't meet her standards. Despite being 30 years old, she remained unmarried and childless. As time passed, her mother, Kanz, grew impatient and urged her daughter to consider any eligible suitor and finally tie the knot. Pendo, however, was resolute in her quest to find true love. Her unwavering spirit attracted attention from villagers who taunted her as she strolled through the village square, earning her the nickname Rembra'or, the Beautiful One. One day, while Pendo ventured through the rugged paths of Baraka, a snake bit her on her left foot. She fell to the ground, helpless and crying for help. Her screams echoed through the quiet night, but no one seemed to hear. But a passing stranger named Kamau, a handsome and compassionate soul, came to her rescue. Kamau rushed to her side and inquired about her condition. Pendo told him about the snakebite, her voice trembling with fear. Kamau, filled with empathy, scooped her up and swiftly carried her to the village herbalist, Otiene. The herbalist treated Pendo's wound, but exhaustion soon overcame her, and she fell into a deep slumber. When she awoke, she found Kamau watching over her. As her strength returned, Pendo expressed her gratitude for Kamau's heroic actions, and it was evident that they had both fallen in love. Their connection was instantaneous, and Kamau knew that he wanted to make Pendo his wife. He bravely asked for her hand in marriage, and Pendo accepted his proposal without hesitation. After their enchanting wedding, Pendo moved into Kamau's house, and they began their life as a married couple. Their days were filled with happiness and harmony until the unexpected arrival of Mzaha, Kamau's mother. Mika was infamous for her mischievous and stubborn nature. The villagers went to great lengths to avoid her because of her mysterious powers, which she claimed to have received from the river goddess of Baraka. Pendo, being a kind and respectful wife, welcomed Mzaha into their home and served her with warmth and hospitality. But after sharing a meal, Mzaha complained about Pendo's cooking, falsely claiming that the food was flavourless and lacked meat, suggesting Pendo had tampered with it. Kamau, fully aware of his mother's reputation, dismissed her complaints. As time passed, Mzaha escalated her attempts to make Pendo's life miserable. She found fault in everything Pendo did and nagged ceaselessly over trivial matters, making life unbearable for Pendo. Despite her kindness, Pendo became a virtual housemaid in her own home. She tirelessly attended to Mzaha's needs, washing her clothes, preparing a variety of meals, and ensuring the house was always in perfect order. However, Mzaha remained unsatisfied and constantly found something new to criticize. Pendo's life became a relentless cycle of servitude. One day, overwhelmed by the mistreatment, Pendo decided to confide in Kamau about her suffering. Kamau, filled with sorrow and anger, confronted his mother, imploring her to cease her torment. He spoke of the love he had for Pendo and how unhappy it made him to see her suffering. Mzaha, realizing that her son was no longer under her spell, was furious and sought revenge. That same night, Mzaha cast a spell on Kamau, making him unresponsive to Pendos' pleas and suffering. Kamau had no control over his emotions, and Pendos' struggles were invisible to him. Pendos' suffering intensified as she toiled tirelessly, while her husband remained aloof. She could feel the strain on her health and happiness, but Kamau was unable to perceive it, bound by the enchantment. Months passed, and Pendo learned that she was pregnant with her first child. She was thrilled at the prospect of motherhood, but feared Mzaha's reaction. Pendo chose not to inform Kamau of her pregnancy, dreading his mother's response. The mistreatment persisted, and Pendo's health deteriorated further. Desperate, she decided to leave her matrimonial home, explaining to Kamau that she needed to be with her family until her child was born. They had no idea that Mzaha was eavesdropping, discovering Pendos' pregnancy. Mzaha schemed to prevent Pendo from leaving and secretly added a substance to her food that night. After consuming it, Pendo felt dizzy, fell into a deep slumber, and awoke late at night, realizing that something was amiss with the food. She confronted Mzaha, who denied any wrongdoing. Pendo knew she had to leave to protect herself and her unborn child. She persisted and managed to survive by doing manual labor for others, earning enough to provide for herself and her child. Mzaha remained baffled by Pendo's resilience, unable to break her spirit even with her son's support. She continued to seek ways to make Pendo's life unbearable. Mzaha, feeling that her initial spell had not caused enough suffering, cast another one on Pendos' pregnancy, aiming to halt its progress. As Pendo neared her due date, she was unable to go into labor. Panic set in as her health deteriorated week after week. Pendo returned to her family, and her mother, Mumby, deeply concerned for her daughter's well-being, sought the advice of a village herbalist. The herbalist recommended that they bathe Pendo in the sacred Baraka river to break the spell cast upon her. After the ritual, Pendo's health improved, and she finally went into labor, giving birth to a healthy baby boy. She was overjoyed and filled with gratitude. In the meantime, back in her matrimonial home, Mzaha's plan to marry Kamau off to another woman, Hami, the daughter of a powerful chief priest, backfired. Hami was known for her extraordinary powers and defied Mzaha's attempts to mistreat her, casting a spell of her own that had lethal consequences. Mzaha poisoned Hami's food. Little did she know that Hami's spell was stronger than hers, and that she would end up eating that food herself. After consuming the poisoned food she had prepared for Hami, Mzaha fell into a deep sleep and never woke up. Following Mzaha's death, the spell she had cast on her son was lifted, and Kamau was freed from her influence. He sought Pendo, and Hami informed him about the truth behind her mother's actions. Kamau, deeply remorseful, begged for Pendo's forgiveness, explaining that he had been unaware of his mother's actions. Pendo, true to her kind and loving nature, forgave Kamau, and they were reunited, bringing their newborn son with them. The couple lived a life filled with love and happiness, free from the torment of Mzaha. The moral of the story is to treat others with kindness and empathy, as the harm we wish upon others can come back to us.